So Schiff is being sued, and personally, I believe it is a good thing that he's being sued. Hopefully, it will bring up some more information on exactly how he got these subpoenas. But we're going to read this from a couple different sites. One is from the complainant site itself, Judicial Watch, and then one is from a secondary source. I don't like to get my information from just the complainant source, because obviously they're the complainant source, so they're going to be a little bit biased. So let's read this on the two articles, and we'll discuss it as we go. From Judicial Watch's own website, Judicial Watch sues Representative Schiff and the House Intelligence Committee for phone subpoenas targeting Trump. Judicial Watch announced today it filed a lawsuit against Representative Adam Schiff and the House Intelligence Committee for the controversial subpoenas issued for phone records, including those of Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's lawyer. The phone records led to the publication, and that's important, the publication, they released them, of the private phone records of Giuliani, Congressman Devin Nunes, journalist John Solomon, Trump attorney Jay Sekulow, attorney Victoria Toensing, and other American citizens. Now, Schiff is saying that they didn't go after the records of Devin Nunes and Giuliani and John Solomon, who is a journalist, by the way, a private journalist, and none of these people were accused of any wrongdoing. Well, he's saying what they did is they got their phone records by getting the records of other people, and then these people had their phone records logged in with it. Well, the problem with that is this: somebody had to go through and link the names with the numbers, right? Somebody had to know. Then why would you publish their private phone records? That's crooked. That's corrupt. That's a warning. That's sticking a finger saying we can get you no matter where you are. I don't like that idea of our government getting to that point. What Schiff did was very corrupt. Judicial Watch filed the lawsuit under the public's common law right of public access to examine government records after it received no response to a December 6th records request. All subpoenas issued by the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence on or about September 30th, 2019 to any telecommunications provider, including but not limited to AT&T Inc., for records of phone calls of any individuals, and all responses received to the above referenced subpoenas. Those are what they are seeking. Schiff is a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, currently serving as chairman of the United States House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Yeah. His position gives him extraordinary power and access to things like the FISA court and whatnot. And the FISA court is pretty kind of controversial in of its own, because really, of record, the FISA court is pretty much a rubber stamp of allowing whatever comes through. They pretty much say yes. Schiff is being sued in his capacity as chairman of that committee, the new lawsuit states. So we're going to abandon this one here. We get the gist of it. This is from Red State. Now, this is more of a right-leaning paper, which is why I chose it, because it is more of the opposite of the Judicial Watch website. Judicial Watch drops lawsuit on Adam Schiff for failure to comply with law, which he absolutely did. He didn't hand over the records. Government watchdog group Judicial Watch has been trying to get information through Freedom of Information Act on how and why the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff for his hands on the call. What? Let me reread that. Government watchdog group Judicial Watch has been trying to get information through Freedom of Information Act on how and why the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff for his hands on the call records that he listed. That doesn't make sense. Bug it. For the call records. On Friday, they filed a lawsuit against Schiff and the committee for failing to respond to the Freedom of Information Act requests in time in accordance with the law. Kind of seems like the Democrats are not handing over paperwork at all. Pelosi doesn't want to hand over any paperwork for the impeachment, which then begs to question, is he actually impeached? Because by law, it says that she has to hand the paperwork over. Now, how corrupt is it that Pelosi is saying that she wants the correct outcome before she hands over the paperwork? That Doesn't make sense. And here we have Schiff not handing over paperwork either. Do you see a running theme going on here? On Friday, they filed a lawsuit against Schiff and the committee for failing to respond. The request for reference, the phone records mentioned on page 153 in the impeachment record, and include the records of President Donald Trump's personal attorneys, Rudy Giuliani and Jay Sekulow, House Intelligence Committee ranking member Devin Nunes, and one of his staff members, as well as investigative journalist John Solomon and others. And they got the others' information first, which then led them to Giuliani and Nunes. They released all these records, even though none of these people were accused of any wrongdoing whatsoever, and they published them. They basically doxed them. They doxed them. The government doxed these people, especially a private American journalist. What the hell? What the hell? To me, it was like a shot across the bow of the government towards journalists saying, we can get you. It's disgusting. The report only references the metadata of the calls, that is, what number made the call and what number received it, plus how long the call was. It does not reference the content of the call, no, but you can tell where they were, how long they were there, how long they were on the call for, and you can get a lot of information they've proven from metadata. But Schiff refused to provide further information on what that information was included, or why or how that information was acquired. And I want to know the why first. Who was the first person that they got, and where did that path lead them? So there had to be a first person that they got the data on that said, oh, this person then called this person. So then let's get this person's data. So now they have two people. Then this person called, and so they had to start with someone. Why did they go after the very first person? What was the rationale? Why? And then the how that information was acquired is important as well. Did they acquire it legally? If the FBI reports on the FISA court are any indication, then perhaps we will find that there are quite a few quote-unquote errors in the paperwork they filed to get these. I'm going to go down here to the quote. The records are of critical public importance as the subpoenas were issued without any lawful basis and violated the rights of numerous private citizens. Stop. Yes, they are very important. We cannot allow the government to just arbitrarily snoop on people who are accused of no wrongdoing whatsoever and then release their information. It's horrible. That is bad. That is wrong. We shouldn't allow it. The group said in their lawsuit, defendants' refusal or failure to disclose the records does not serve any legitimate public interest. When the watchdog group filed their Freedom of Information Act request, they asked for, and we've already read that, all subpoenas issued by the House and any communication as to the referred above subpoenas. Tom Fitton brought up a great point using the logic Schiff has used in the past. If Schiff has nothing to hide, why isn't he releasing this information? Is he trying to obstruct the law? No. I have said in the past, and I will say it again, that I believe the whistleblower was an electronic wiretap, not a human being. And I believe if Schiff releases these records, it's going to be found that he compiled either one report or perhaps a few different reports of electronic communications that they got, and that is the whistleblower, in effect making Adam Schiff the whistleblower. Just my opinion. Because things don't make sense. Why can't they produce a human to testify? Why has nobody seen this human? And then they have seen, but then they haven't seen him, but then they met him, but then they didn't meet him, and then, come on. What is going on? I believe we're going to find out that the whistleblower was a series of ill-gotten electronic communications. That's what I believe. Could very well be wrong. Absolutely. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Things don't make sense as far as the human portion of it. I believe it was electronic communications that they had intercepted or gotten in a way that perhaps wasn't quite legal, and that's why all the hoopla. That's why all the stuff is going on. I don't know. I sure hope this lawsuit goes through. I sure hope Pelosi passes the paper over to the Senate because I want a fair trial. I want to see information. I want to see evidence. I want to see some heads rolling for wasting our time. And I hear people saying all the time, oh, well, there's evidence that Trump broke the law. And then I ask them, what's the evidence? Nobody can produce any. Which is why I'm stuck in the position I'm at to say, well, I believe the Democrats are on a witch hunt. Because I don't see any evidence. I don't see evidence. Evidence, evidence, evidence. That's what I am based upon. Fact, evidence, logic, reason. I don't care about Trump. I care about the office. I care about the American people. I care about rule of law, equal application of law, freedom of speech, things like that. I don't care who the president is. If things don't make sense, they just don't make sense. Anyways, I've given my opinions on this, and I've read you these, and I'm sure you have all heard the news as well. Let us share information. Leave a comment down below about what you think, what you believe, and let's discuss this. People died for you to be able to have your opinion and be able to listen to other people's opinions, so perhaps we should exercise those rights. And the faster that you get rid of your rights, even the smallest rights, then the faster you'll get rid of your next set of rights. If you shed small rights, it makes it easier to shed next bigger rights. I can't word that properly, but you get what I'm saying. It's like the Virginia thing, which I'm going to do a story on here next, so stick around for that. I'll probably have it up here in about 15-20 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on YouTube. Figure an hour. It is YouTube after all. Anyways, let me know what you think, and hit that like button, that thumbs up button, that thumbs down button, that button, that button that does that button thing, and yeah, you know the drill. Alright, I'm feeling goofy this morning. I love you guys. Stay informed. I'll see you on the next one.